Now then, people, good evening. Welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show. We're here to talk everything Arsenal. Leeds United go to the Emirates on Saturday for arguably one of the toughest away days in the Premier League, really, when you consider the teams at the top, how good Arsenal are defensively, what their aspirations are for this season. We've got to go there and try and get something. It's going to be a tall order. To talk about Arsenal, I've brought my good friend, Mr. Dan Potts from the 12th Man podcast. A lot of you will have seen me over there. A lot of you are avid viewers, watchers. Dan, it's great to have you, man. I think this might be the first time you've actually came here, right?
I've been on before, but it's so long ago because Leeds were away for so long, man.
Oh, well, there you go.
So, it's been too long ago, man. Too long, man. It's a pleasure to be back on, bruv, and pleasure to see everyone in the chat. Make sure you do me a favor, everyone from 12th Man. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Yes. And man, I don't know what do you think the top 3 grounds for difficulty are to go to from a Leeds fan's perspective, bro? Do you think Arsenal's one of them?
Yeah, just because of how good you are at home, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like defensively, for me,
you think what Anfield that he had and the Emirates? Do you think?
I don't know about Etihad, if I'm honest. We got a result there, though, didn't we? We got a result there with 10 men, so maybe. But I just look at yours, and I do think this isn't going to be an easy afternoon. I mean, talk to me about Arsenal, mate. Obviously, you've just signed Eze. The place is bouncing. Havertz is injured, but obviously this has meant that you get Eze. You've got Gyökeres this season as well. Although we didn't see the best of him against Manchester United, he's probably going, do you know what? This is a team that's just come up. I think Arsenal fans, if I'm being honest, I listen to a lot of content. They're expecting, they keep telling me, I keep saying, tell me how many you're going to win by. And they go, oh, maybe two. And I'm thinking, nah, you think about 4 or 5, really. This is what I think. But I genuinely think they're probably, because everyone's still in that mindset of the newly promoted teams are not good enough. They're still thinking this in their mind, and it's not true. But hey, talk to me about Arsenal, mate. Where you at?
So I think probably for Leeds fans, they're going to be already questioning him, what the expectation is already for, as you've just mentioned, coming to a tough place to try and take points, right? I think the Eze news has actually probably come at the worst timing for you, because that's going to be absolutely bouncing on top of what was already going to be a first game at the Emirates, because we obviously started at Old Trafford, didn't we, last weekend? So now we're going for our first home game at the Emirates. We've got Gyökeres for his first home game at the Emirates in the Premier League, and now we've got the signing of Eze on top of that, watching Zubimendi as well. So I feel like this probably bad timing for a kind of Leeds perspective. But where I'm at, bro, is we still can't get our attack right at the moment. And I've been worried about it in pre-season, and I was worried about it at Manchester United. Now, I don't think that by taking 3 points at Man United, we should be sitting there saying, anything other than we'll take it, because Old Trafford's still a tough place to go. Where you look at Manchester United being shocking or half decent, they're absolutely a difficult place to go. I think this is the year, Joe, that we have to be looking at Mikel Arteta now. I know a lot of people.
I'm a bigger fan of Arteta than you are.
Yeah, you are. You actually are. I think it's easy as well. I say this, and I don't mean this disrespectfully to you because you're my bro, but it's quite easy for you to sit there as a Leeds fan and say Arsenal look pretty good. But when you look as an Arsenal fan and say Arsenal look pretty good, it hasn't been good enough. And that's the frustrating thing for me. Now, if I was, let's say, and no disrespect to these teams, if I was a Newcastle fan, or if I was a Tottenham Hotspur fan, or if I was a West Ham fan, I'd be pretty buzzing about the job that Arteta's done at those clubs. I think coming second 3 years in a row would be unbelievable for West Ham or Newcastle, Everton, or one of those. When you're Arsenal and you're the third most successful by stats club in England, only behind Liverpool and Man United, I expect to win trophies. So when I've gone 5 years without any, I'm starved, bro. I grew up with so many. And people will say, well, it's not that easy. It's not about that. It should be when you've spent close to £1 billion in 5 years. You should have some trophies. So that's where I'm at now. And you say, like, I'm not a huge fan of Arteta. I quite like him. He's all right. But I don't look at him and think, wow, you're the elite. If Luis Enrique was in charge, people would probably have Arsenal to win the league. Or they definitely have him to win trophies. Hansi Flick, there's other managers. So I look at what Mikel Arteta.
Where do you put him on? Who do you put him on a par with, would you say?
Do you want me to go in the Premier League or in Europe?
just wherever, because Slot's made a mockery of it, coming in and winning it in the first season, hasn't he, really?
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I think for me, there's a bracket of the greatest, and those are the managers like Sir Alex Ferguson, Pep Guardiola, the Jose Mourinho's, Arsene Wenger's, Jurgen Klopp's. Then there's a bracket down from that, I think, and it's like the Antonio Conte's, Diego Simeone's, those kind of people, Allegri, all with a CV that says I win. And I think there's a bracket down from that now, which I look at as Unai Emery, Eddie Howe, Glasner, maybe some of the managers in Europe that have always been fairly good.
Daniel Farke.
Daniel Farke, Ranieri, Gasparini, those types. I think Mikel Arteta is probably close to being that. The only difference he's got is he hasn't really won some of the amounts of those. But Mikel Arteta, people forget, did win an FA Cup, which is what Glasner won with Palace, and what, we've seen Eddie Howe win a trophy now with Newcastle, and Unai Emery has won an unbelievable amount of European trophies, but he's yet to do something with Villa. So I think he's close to kind of being in that bracket, if I'm honest. And that's not a bracket that I think Arsenal want a manager to be in. And I truly do believe, and I didn't believe, I've changed my opinion on this, by the way, quite a few times. I didn't think Mikel Arteta was going to get anywhere near the top, if I'm honest. Right. I thought he'd probably be able to get us into the top 4, and then we might need to bring someone in to get us across the line and win us it. I've actually changed my opinion to say, actually, he can get us to challenging. And he can do a Brendan Rodgers with Liverpool. But I don't think he can do a Jurgen Klopp. And I think we might need to bring in someone like that now. I think we might need to look at a Luis Enrique, Hansi Flick. And I know people will go, why would they come to Arsenal? Well, they would. Like, let's be honest, they would. If we're paying 15 million for Arteta, he's the third highest paid manager in the world behind Simeone and Pep. So only those two managers earn more than him. If we've got 15 million as a bracket to pay a manager, Luis Enrique is going to go. It's been a great couple of years in France, but I'll come to England.
The Premier League's the elite, well, the Premier League's the elite.
Yeah, man, 100%, bro. And they're going to attract the players as well. So that's where I'm at with him. This season, I've been impressed with some of the players that we brought in. I've got to be honest. I had a dream free with Curtis and Turkish probably about 2 months ago. We said 2 of them would be out of the 3, 2 that we've got, Gyökeres and Eze. The other one was Rodrigo. Now, that might be a pipe dream, and people might laugh when I say that, but I truly believe that we should be in the mix for that if there's any chance whatsoever. We've brought in Zubimendi. Norgard's a backup. Madueke is clearly a backup now, an expensive one, but do you know what? I'll take it now that we've got Eze coming in as well. We've obviously got Mosquera, who's a young up-and-coming centre-half that Bert has recognised, and we've got Kepa as a backup goalkeeper. So some of those aren't going to take us to the next level. Some of them are going to be upgrades on the people we had, right? So you can look at it now and say, are there any huge upgrades there for Arsenal? Well, there are. Because whether you thought Neto was half decent or not, Kepa's actually probably better than him. They're both pretty naff. Let's have it right. But Kepa's probably better than Neto. Mosquera's better than Tomiyasu. Why? Because he's available. Tomiyasu never was. You look at Norgard. Is he better than Jorginho? Probably not, but he's not miles behind him because of his legs are gone, right? Then you've got Zubimendi with Partey. Partey, let's just not mention him. Zubimendi now, I'm happy to move forward with. Then you've got Madueke. He's definitely an upgrade on Sterling and Nelson. He might not be a huge upgrade on a Saka, but he's definitely an upgrade on Nelson and Sterling, who were backing up Saka last season and the season before. Then you look, obviously, at Gyökeres, who's a huge upgrade on Havertz and Jesus. And then you've got Eze who's now coming in, who's going to be a huge upgrade on that left-hand side, or in my opinion, even Odegaard at the moment, the way that he's playing. So I think the signings, they're looking good. It's been sort of 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Rodrigo would take it to the 8-9 land, out of 10. And I don't know if we're bringing anybody like that in, but there certainly needs to be some player sales. But it's more the way we're playing at the moment, Joe, which you might be surprised by the prediction when I get to that, as to what's happening at Arsenal right now. There seems to be a little bit of a stumbling block with our attack. We look solid defensively. I think everyone would admit that. For the last 2 seasons, we won the Golden Glove with David Raya and had the best defence in the league. In midfield, I don't quite think the balance has always been right. I think the best we had was Partey, Xhaka and Odegaard. And since then, Rice has come in and he's kind of misused him at times. I think that Zubimendi coming in now with Rice, I need to see it more of a double pivot with Odegaard in front. Hopefully I see that with a balance more. But it has been the front three. We've been over-reliant on Bukayo Saka so much, bruv. And I know you're a fan of him and he's my favourite player by far. I think he's wonderful. However, he's the only one I have faith in the front three of the last couple of years. So I need to look at Gyökeres now and get him more involved in the game. And hopefully Odegaard and Saka can do that. And with Eze coming in, I think he'll get something to feed from now. And Gyökeres in front of goal, we've seen over the last 2 years. You don't score 100 goals in whatever league if you're not good. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, there's loads to unpack, mate. But do you think with the signing of Eze, we might see Odegaard 22, 23 in terms of, does Eze, if he plays him on the left, but more central, if you like, does he then take some of that? Because it is, look, if we're being honest, right, I'm not a manager, but I can look at Arsenal and say, if you can double up or triple up on that little triangle or that little interchange between Saka and Odegaard, you sort of lock them off. Do you know what I mean? It was very much them two playing. So do you think maybe with Eze coming in, if he was to deploy him in that sort of role, it might make Odegaard better? Do you know what I mean? Or more influential, if you like?
So I'm going to say something on top of that. I think the most pressure this season, other than on Arteta, of course, player-wise, is on Martin Odegaard. Not just because he's had a bad season, because he did have, right? He come off the back of an injury. Some say it's harsh, but he weren't injured and sick for that long. Like, he's got to come back into it. And you've got to look at his individual performances and say they're below par for what we're used to, right? The reason there's so much pressure on him now is because he's got a striker in front of him to feed. He's got Bukayo Saka on the right, who has been recognised as one of the best right wingers in the world, let alone in the Premier League. He's got Zubamendi doing all the defensive work, so he doesn't need to come back. He's got Rice next to him, who's doing all the engine work, box to box, covers every blade of grass, so he doesn't need to work or press as hard as he's used to. He's now got Eze as well on top of that, who can unlock a low block and shoot from outside the box and give some creativity as well. There is absolutely zero excuses now for Odegaard to have a bad season. He's got everything that a creative midfielder would dream around him now, in my opinion. Yeah. So if you take Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva, Mesut Ozil, Bruno Fernandes, all these attacking tens in the last few years that we've seen in the Premier League that have got goals and assists, they would dream to have a striker of a killer of Gyökeres in front of them. They dream to have Saka next to him. They'd absolutely love to have a hard-working midfield trio alongside him with Rice and Zubamendi. And Eze is the sort of player that everyone wants to play with in the Premier League. So now there's no excuses for Odegaard, man. We've got to let him unlock. We've got to let him deliver, and we've got to see it. And do you know what it might do as well is not compliment the way he plays. It might actually kick him out of the team, Eze, because Eze's the type of player that if he's performing, I know he's our captain and Arteta probably won't drop him, but the fan base will call for it if he's overperforming and Odegaard's not. So I think there's the most pressure on Odegaard, and he's our captain and leader as well, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, there was the takes I was on your show when you mentioned it about Tony Adams saying it should go to Rice, etc. Do you think he's not really captain material, is he, Martin Odegaard? No. He doesn't scream it, does he?
He's not, mate, and I didn't want him. And 3-4 years ago, I did a live event at the Hippodrome with Super Kevin Campbell, bless him, who's no longer with us, RIP. And I remember having a chat with him, Sophie, Lee Judges, Harry and Tom. And the question from the audience was, who would your new captain be now that Lacazette is leaving? Because Aubameyang obviously had gone and been stripped of it. Lacazette was leaving. We were getting a new captain. And it obviously wasn't going to be Granit Xhaka because of the incident that happened with him throwing the armband down when Unai Emery gave it to him, right? And me and Kevin Campbell picked the same player, and it wasn't Martin Odegaard. Everybody else picked Martin Odegaard, and the group, load of hands went up and said, I agree. And I was shocked and stunned at the time. I thought, he doesn't look like a captain to me. He looks like a good player, and he's a role model in the dressing room from what we understand, and people look up to him. Now, the player we're gonna name, me and Kev, bless him, is probably going to make a lot of people laugh now because he's no longer at the club, and he was kind of outed by Mikel Arteta. But Kieran Tierney was who I would have given it to, because he showed the mentality and the professionalism and the winning mentality of winning. He was the one barking orders on the pitch. He was the one that was grabbing people by the scruff of the neck and getting them across the line. Now, obviously, now Tierney's gone. He's not somebody that I'm looking at as saying that should have been our captain.
Gabriel. Surely Gabriel.
So, okay, so there's the two candidates for me that are clear. The first one is Gabriel. Gabriel is the one who barks orders. He's the one who gets up in Haaland's face. He's the one who does the Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira role very well. Declan Rice also does that a little bit. And with Declan Rice, a lot of people see everything on and off the pitch with him as being spectacular and everything that Arsenal want. So they're the two for me that are clear. Martin
Rice
Odegaard
is the type of character he would never let you down, man.
He looks like a captain. He is the perfect captain, bruv. So I personally do feel that it would be the right decision to give one of those two the armband. But I'll tell you why Mikel Arteta won't do it, right? One, because he chose him and he's stubborn. Yeah. Two, because he sees a lot in Martin Odegaard and a lot of himself in Martin Odegaard. And three, he sees Odegaard as the nice role model that he wants everybody to look up to and be like. You know, when you get a teacher's pet and this is the perfect guy, he's the one. I don't think he sees a captain as someone who barks orders, grabs people by the scruff of the neck. Gabriel and Rice are like Vieira and Keane type. Yeah. They're not that level, by the way, but they're the closest to that in this modern day era. Arteta, if you remember, as a captain of Arsenal, wasn't like Vieira. Arteta was like Odegaard. So I think Odegaard is someone that people do respect in their dressing room. He came out in an interview and said, I asked the players to vote. They all voted Martin Odegaard to be captain. Now, I don't know if that's true, by the way, because I think it's nonsense if you're asking the players to pick the captain.
I don't agree with that logic.
I don't agree with that at all. I think you say, I'm the captain, and you, son, that's your armband, because you're my guy, you're my captain, and you're the one that everyone's going to come to in a minute. And look,
everybody likes relay. Nobody.
Oh, man, you want someone everyone respects.
United couldn't stand Roy Keane. Let's be honest. They couldn't stand Roy Keane, some of them players.
Man. He had to respect him, though. Yeah. Same with Vieira, Tony Adams, like people that said he used to kick off and stuff in the dressing room. That's what happens, man. You need some of that. And there's two types of captains, right? There's the one who barks orders, the one that shouts, the one who grabs you up by the neck and says, look, we're getting through this. And then you've got the Odegaards who just strolls around the pitch, leads by the press, tells everybody to get forward, tells everyone to get back and starts leading around. For me, that's more of a management role, really. If you get me, you shouldn't have your captain telling people where to go, what to do. That's the management role. What I need is for people to tell them when they're out of position or when they're not doing their role or when they're saying get stuck in, when they're going up to the referee and saying that, ref, what are you going to do about that? When you're telling the opposition, don't come near him, I'll have you. That's my captain. That's my leader. And Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira were like that. But look at the captains in the Premier League now, bro. They don't exist like that.
No,
they're all like this. Like if you look now, even the ones that were successful, Cesar Azpilicueta wasn't John Terry. Jordan Henderson was never Gerrard. They were good. They won stuff, but they were never that. And like even Manchester City, since Company, they've had like banded around no lead.
Bernardo Silva's got it now.
Bernardo Silva is the captain of Man City. It's ridiculous, man. So are those your captain, by the way?
Ampadu. And he is a bit of a throwback, mate, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he is actually. Yeah,
he does smash into tackles and that. He did Dewsbury Hall actually, to be honest, at the weekend.
Is he who you want as captain?
Yeah, Defoe for me. Yeah. Yeah, man, he's injured actually for this fixture, which I'm gutted about. He's going to be injured till after the international break, so he's going to miss the next three because we've got Sheffield Wednesday.
He looked in pain, man, when I see that.
I'm surprised he carried on, but
same.
Yeah. So we're missing Ampadu, mate. I know there's some injury issues at your place. Obviously, no Havertz. Anybody else? Because I did see a tweet about Gyökeres and that Moreno's going to lead the line from some mad Arsenal account. Is that bullshit?
Yeah, it's not what I've heard. But we did an open training session yesterday, and Saka and Madueke were playing on the opposite sides to each other. So Madueke was playing right and Saka left. Then I heard later on that they switched back round. So I think it was just something they were trying. I didn't hear that Gyökeres was injured. He definitely did play in that open training session because there's a clip of Max Dowman yet again taking it round about 4 players and then squaring it.
By the way, mate, you have got it is insane. That kid is mental.
He's unbelievable at 15, brother. Unbelievable at 15. I was told So I know a guy who's in the youth setup, right? And he has never ever mentioned the following players as being top quality and going to be to the top, right? Joe Willock, Maitland-Niles, Chuba Akpom, Emil Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson. He's never mentioned any of these players as going to the absolute top. There's only 3 players that he's mentioned that will be absolutely elite level. Miles Lewis-Skelly, Ethan Nwaneri, and Max Dowman. They're the only 3 that he's mentioned in the last 7 years or whatever it is. It's actually a friend of mine who knows him. And he said this 14-year-old, because he was 14 at the time when he said this 14-year-old is better than Martin Odegaard now. Right. So I've heard stuff like this before, and I just rolled my eyes and thought, yeah, hilarious. Like I heard this about, players like J. Emmanuel Thomas and Dan Crowley that didn't even match Charlie Patino. I've heard all this before, right? So I rolled my eyes. Anyway, I watched him and I thought, God, he looks pretty good, actually. And I watched him again and I thought, wow, geez, okay, this player's a baller. And then I see him in pre-season and I'm like, yeah, he is. He is better than Odegaard now, mate. He's not going to play every game, by the way. And he should do, but he's not going to play because obviously they're looking after him. But he is a special talent. And yesterday, he took the round 3 players again, put it across, and Gyökeres tapped it in. So Gyökeres definitely is fit. The only 2 players I know that weren't part of that were Timber and White, which is frustrating because they're both right backs for us. So I think Zinchenko or Calafiori were playing there in the friendly game. Or in the training session, sorry. So that could be a question mark. But I imagine that one of them will probably be okay to start. The one who's definitely out, of course, is Kai Havertz because that's been reported as potentially quite a bad one as well. So, yeah, we'll have to see with that, mate. But I think everybody else is fit, bro.
Yeah. We'll talk about some individuals in a sec. I have just put this up. If people don't know about Max Dowman, then go check this video. This is a pre-season friendly against Newcastle, man. He's different gravy. And at just 15 as well, it's a bit of a madness. So definitely one to watch. English, right? English parents, defo. Yeah.
Comes literally from around the corner from me. Like real talk.
There you go. Happy days. So we've got an elite player for the England setup. Yeah, that's all good.
That's it, man. We got. He's an Essex boy. He's got. Do you know what? His parents are really, really nice as well. Like really nice. Then they want him to do better.
Southgate back, mate, and we might win.
I tell you what, man, that Tuchel ain't done a great start. Let me tell you that.
Mate, however, he better win because I'll be coming back to you all.
Yeah, you can come for me because I wanted Tuchel. But look, I think with Max Dowman, he's obviously English. He's Essex boy. He's a big Arsenal fan. He wants to stay at Arsenal for forever, and his parents are like big into that as well. Yeah. So I think we've got a star on our hands, man. But I'm a big fan of Ethan as well. I think Waneri's been fantastic for us as well. So
defo. Mate, key men then for you in that Arsenal setup going into this Leeds United game. Who do you need to rely on in order to get a result against Leeds? Which, if we're being honest, you should be doing.
Absolutely, we should. Well, look, we've always got to be key defensively, but I think to beat you, we're going to have to look at our attack. And we need Saka to have a better game than he did against United, because Saka's always the one that I think everybody, when I used to do opposition previews a lot more than I do now, everyone used to say to me, Saka's your best player. Saka's the one we're worried about. Saka's the threat. Saka's the main threat. So I think it'd be stupid if anyone said any different to that, because when he's on fire, he's a baller, bruv. Trust me, he's unbelievable to watch. I'm going to go Zubimendi because I think he controls and dictates that midfield. I think if we win the midfield battle, we've got a great chance of beating any team. I think that's what you've got to do in most games. And I will say Gyökeres because we need a striker that's going to put the ball in the back of the net, and we've had done for a while. So if you can try and keep Gyökeres quiet and get 2 or 3 men on Saka, you might have a chance. Now, you're not going to be able to do that when we play you at Ellen Road because we'll have hopefully different players by then, or a couple of different players by then. But whilst we haven't got Eze in the door, and whilst we potentially haven't got another player coming in the attack, you can double team Saka and potentially keep us quiet. So I think that's what you need to try and do for this game, is try and get men on him, because if you can get him quiet, you've always got a chance, man. I don't want to stress you how good I think Saka is, bro.
Oh man, he's brilliant. He's brilliant. I'm defending him left, right, and centre on these other shows, man. Don't you worry about that. But I think hearing you say that, I was all for Noah Okafor starting. Could he start? He's just come in from AC Milan. He's had a good pre-season, scored against Liverpool, played against us the Saturday before the season kicked off, so he's ready to go. But hearing you say that, there's a big case that the manager actually might go with Jack Harrison. Just thinking, because Jack Harrison defensively, matching up with Goodmanson, they can sort of be all over Saka. So that's just come to my mind there, to be fair. You watch Leeds against Everton. I know it weren't the most enthralling encounter. I enjoyed it, of course, because it was my side, but we won the game. What did you make to Leeds? Were you surprised, Dan? Because I've been saying, I think people need to realise that Leeds and Sunderland are actually, they're not coming to make up numbers like these other teams. We're going to be competitive, and you saw that in the opening weekend. Were you surprised?
Only because I spoke to you, I wasn't. If I wouldn't have spoken to you, I would have thought that What, bloody hell, Leeds look half decent. But you've been telling me that you were confident that Leeds would beat Everton. You thought that Leeds would show up, and you thought Leeds would play well, and that's what I thought Leeds did. And I was very impressed with them. I actually tipped Everton to have a good season. Now I know they've got injuries at the moment, and obviously they've in a bit of a pickle with some of their positions. But players they've brought in, I think they've had a very good transfer window. Personally, I think Moyes is an incredibly underrated manager as well. I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. However, I do think for a team like Everton, he's done excellent with. And I thought with West Ham, he was brilliant. Really, I mean, West Ham, embarrassing get rid of him, really, if I'm honest. I mean, for putting him in European football for 4 years running and replacing him with Lopetegui was just one of the worst decisions ever, really. So I think for me,
the fans can only blame themselves because they think
embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing, mate. You know, I say it to Lourdes all the time. He was one of the worst for it. You know, I want to get rid of this clown. I think, what do you mean? He's got you in European football for 4 years running. This is West Ham. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, exactly. Won a first trophy in 43 years, and they're wondering why they're not bringing in Zidane. Come on, man. It's embarrassing. So, anyway, but that's West Ham, man. Look, Leeds. The reason I disrespected potentially the teams that are coming up is because I don't know how much you watched last season. The three that come up were embarrassing, bro. Like the three that come up last season were a shabba. And because Leeds didn't go up, I was like, how did Leeds not go up? These are terrible. Like.
Do you know they didn't get their first win until November? And us and Sunderland have got our first win on the first weekend.
So straight away, that proves that you've got something better. The reason should I tell you who I've tipped to go down?
Go on.
I've tipped Burnley to go down. Right. I just don't think Scotty Parker's got what it takes.
No.
I've gone for Brentford because I think they're a mess, mate. I think they're a real struggle. I think losing Thomas Frank is one thing, but when you've got all your attack going as well, you can't. And putting Kieran Andrews into it ain't for me, bro. I think they're going to go, right? And the other team I've gone with is Sunderland. And I'll tell you why, right? As much as I was impressed with it was West Ham, by the way, but as much as I was been impressed with some of their signings, right? I think sometimes you can bring in too many players.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've tried to do. And I appreciate they've done it. Forest did it. It worked for them. But I think they've tried to go down that route. They've brought in some good players, by the way. Granit Xhaka being one of them, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But I just don't know that they've got the know-how yet to bring all of those players in and go, we're good enough. So I've got Leeds to stay up. And I want you to, by the way. I didn't want you to go down. You know that. But I've been impressed. I watched you against Everton. I thought you showed unbelievable fight, if I'm honest. That was one thing I noticed. It's obviously a team that are together. Daniel Farke clearly has got you playing, but he's also got you believing, and the mentality's there. I think you were clearly, going to go up last season. I thought it was done by like October. I was like, well, Leeds are going up. It's obvious. Do you know what I mean? I thought you should have gone up the year before, if I'm honest. So that's where I'm at with Leeds. And I think it'll be tough. And you'll see by my prediction why I think you'll make it difficult for us, because you're not going to come all out attack and try and beat us by 4, right? So I think it'll be a difficult game, man. I do think it'll be difficult. So I've been impressed, man.
Yeah, the midfield three is the most impressive part for me. We've never played it before. He started it in pre-season. We got a draw against Man United, Villarreal, and AC Milan. We come into
against Milan, funny enough, because that was before our game. So your game was on. And it's always nice to see Emma Jones commentating on stuff. So I thought I'd listen to her for a bit and before our game. You know what I'm saying? So I was watching that with my mate, and we were getting ready for Arsenal's game, and I watched a bit of it, man. Yeah, it was very impressive, I thought.
Yeah, man. That's what I mean. We're going to be difficult to break down. That's the key thing. And we've got a team of giants. Like, normally I'd be shitting myself with your set pieces, but I'm going, do you know what? At least we've got a team of giants in there. The keeper looks assured as well, which is much better than what Meslier did.
Oh, Meslier was terrible, wasn't he? Jesus.
Bad. He's still not gone, but apparently some clubs in France want him 5 million, so we'll see. But yeah, listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So much so that I brought in 3 Arsenal assets on my free hit, mate. That's what,
What you gone for?
I went for Gabriel, Saka, and Gyökeres. I think that's... I think that's fair, isn't it? I think that's fair.
It is, man. It is. And
did you know I'm 4th in the world, bro?
Did you know what?
That I'm 4th in the world on fantasy.
Are you actually?
Yes. Yeah.
That's incredible.
I know, man.
What did you get your first week?
I tell everybody now, man, because that's it. I'm 4th in the world, bro.
What did you get then? How many points did you get?
125, man. I hit the bench boost. And I had Trafford on my bench. He got 7, obviously. I had Stack and Stack and Goodmanson at Leeds because I thought we'd beat Everton. And I also had my ender at Sunderland because I thought they'd beat West Ham. And they all got points, man, big points. And then, I had no Arsenal assets because I thought that Man United game would be tough. But Sanchez, Cucurella, Palmer let me down, Wirtz let me down. But I did have Salah, right? And then I watched him in that Charity Shield. I went, he don't look right out there. So I brought in Ekatike and Wirtz for him, and obviously came on. But I've hit the free hit, mate, because I want to go from 4th to 1st, man. I want to go from 4th.
Can you imagine? Bro, just to say that I've done it once. I was once one
exactly.
person.
That's
yeah.
It. That's all
you need, man. Because
yeah,
I've got to be honest, I had a stinker and I've got a really good team. Well, in my opinion, I've got a good team. And I looked at it, I got like 30 points. I'm like, what is that? You know, like when we have those weeks where like no 100%. One does anything. And it was a madness.
I've got to show you so people know I'm not capping.
Yeah. Go on, mate.
There we go. 4th, mate, in the world, man.
That is scary. They're only 2 points ahead of you, bro.
Exactly, mate. That's what I'm saying. So with the free hit, I'm in. But look at all my leagues, all my mini leagues. First.
Wow.
First. It's mad. So yeah, maybe with the free hit, that 2 points. But
mate, to be fair, I'm not that far behind you. I'm 9,249,000. So it just goes to show, man. Goes to show many people do this. But yeah, no, big up to you, bro. But yeah, no, listen, I'm a fan.
I think stay humble with that.
I know you said he didn't have a great season last year, but I do like Willie Gnonto, man. Like every time I watch him on the ball, he does excite me. He does. I know you said he was
Everton in patches. He did.
Yeah. And there's the Japanese lad. Is it Tanaka? That's him.
Yeah.
I saying about him.
Rice has been waxing lyrical as well, hasn't he? He said he loves him, like he likes him.
I like what I see, bro. Like what I see. Don't know enough about him. I mean, this is all new to me.
Do you know what? We bought him last season from the German 2nd division for 3 million.
Wow.
He's one of them players that I can see going Brighton for about 40, if I'm honest. You know, like we did with Rutter.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, you talked about your prediction. You said you're going to surprise me, mate. Tell me about it.
It might not surprise you madly. I think a lot. I did one with a gal earlier, and he said it would be 4-0. I think he said.
See, I told you
that's a gal, right? That's a gal. The reason it surprises is not because I think Leeds are unbelievable. It's because I have no faith in our attack at the moment. So I've gone 1-0 to the Arsenal again, and the reason I've done that is because I just feel like Leeds will put in more of a low block, and I think we have to respect that a bit. I don't think Leeds are going to be this team that we just waltz over by 4s or 5s. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be, in the scenario where we put in 4s and 5 past teams again, but I think it's going to be tough, man. So I'm going to go for 1-0, but I don't think that this one, even if we do win, I just don't see it being a comfortable win. I don't think we're playing well enough for that yet, Joe. I still think people have not appreciated that we're still getting used to how to get this attack working. We're still getting used to the balance in midfield. When you put in a kind of new midfielder and a new striker, it's not going to work straight away. Like we've only really had a handful of games to play this team together and this system together. So I feel like we'll get the job done, but just so I've gone 1-0 to the Arsenal, bro.
1-0 to the Arsenal, eh? Do you know, thing for me is, Potts, if we don't, I'd like it to be 0-0 at half-time. And I've been saying this. Everyone at Arsenal is nervous. Fan base, Arteta, players, because they know that it's boom or bust.
Pressure on, man. Pressure on.
Yeah. For this season, it's boom or bust. I think if you don't win the league or get a trophy, I think Arteta will be relieved of his duties. I do. But I think because there's so much pressure, like you say, you're coming into the ground, new signings, Eze just over Spurs, everyone's bouncing. If Leeds United can stem that, and at half time you're frustrated, that seeps. One thing I'll say for the fans, it can easily seep onto the pitch at the Emirates, I think. So my plan is, if we're 0-0 at half time, I might start to believe. But if I'm honest, I think you probably will beat us. Like, I'm not deluded. 2-0. I'd love a draw. Do you know me as well, right? See, I never, ever predict losses, but it's like, I don't know if I've had a change or something like that, but I think it's stupid me expecting a win. On the day of the match, it might be something, but As long as we don't...
We've got to do our job as well as a fan base, because obviously this is our first game at the Emirates. We've got to make it a fortress. We've got to make it horrible and hostile for you. I think the other thing we've got to do is get up for the fact that we have just taken Eze off of Tottenham and we have hijacked it. We have brought Gyökeres and Zubimendi and they're going to be playing. We have going to see, you know, a fit Arsenal side for the first time in what feels like forever, because we were so battered and bruised and depleted. I mean, we were playing Marino up top, for God's sake, weren't we? You know, against PSG and Madrid. Like, we need to see that better, man. So I'll be at the game doing my bit. I hope the fans are doing the same, bro.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. If you were coming to Ellen Road, I'd be like, nah, we can get something here, man. Get amongst them. But I just think down at your place, it's going to be tough. And anything at a point, man, I would snap your hands off. But stranger things have happened, mate. Like I say, we went to the Etihad and won with 10 men. So you just never know, do you? You just never know. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, listen, I think we'll leave it there. Potsy, I just want to say from me to you, thank you, man, for always having me on the show and stuff. You're a legend.
Come on, bro.
Guy. And I know a lot of my crew now come over and watch that show week in, week out. So it's
big
great
up, man.
Yeah. But listen, go over. If one of the mods can put 12 man in the chat, I know you all watch it anyway, but if you can, do it. Listen, if Leeds somehow beat Arsenal at the Emirates, we're getting Champions League. We're getting Champions League.
Where do you think you're going to come, by the way? I didn't ask you.
Yeah, man, Wolfie has got me saying Conference League. It's just a bit of fun. But to be honest, mate, I think anywhere between 14th and 17th.
Yeah, so I've got you in 16th. So no, I've got you 17th. Just looking up here because I've did it the other day, and this was before the window closes, by the way. So I've got you safe, and I hope you will be, man. I really do.
Yeah. I think the ones that go down, mate, Burnley are done. I mean, the manager's not got the facilities. Everyone's waxing lyrical on the defence last season, not realising that 4 of them players aren't at the football club anymore. The buys are terrible, but spending 20 million on Armando Broja is mental, and he wasn't in the squad again. I think West Ham could go, if I'm honest. Brentford, they got packed by Forest, and I think they'll get beat by Villa at the weekend. So I think it could be them 3.
So you got the same, basically the same as me, but you think West Ham instead of Sunderland. Yeah, fair enough, man.
I know Wolves are buying. They've just bought a centre back, but I've just seen Newcastle have bid for Strand Larsen.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
So if they take him away, then it's even worse because then they've lost Kuna, Nori, and Strand Larsen. So we'll see what Wolves have got as well. So, but one thing for sure, Dan, I think you can tell after game week 1, it's going to be a scrap. It's not going to be like last season.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I agree, bro.
But yeah, listen, folks, we'll leave it there. That'll be it from me now. I'm going to take the evening off. I do know that Leeds United are after Bournemouth centre-back James Hill. Plays predominantly as a centre-back, but can also cover right-back. I spoke to my friend Sam, who's a Bournemouth fan. He's said some bits to me. And I know Potsy's got a friend that worked with him in an academy as well. So maybe we'll speak to him as well. But listen, thanks as always for tuning in, and I will see you in a bit. Actually, we've got some super chats. Sorry. I think the issue with Arteta at Arsenal is they have all these brilliant attackers, but he is happy to sit in and grind a 1-0 out instead of going for it.
Facts.
Bang on the money.
Absolutely bang on. It's got to change, man.
Yeah, and Saeed Abdullah says, after signing Eze, are we still pushing for Rodrigo on loan as a final signing? What's your thoughts on that?
So I don't know if the rumours are true, but there are suggestions that Rodrigo could be available. Arsenal, Liverpool and City have all been rumoured to be interested before. I don't know if this Eze deal changes that. I don't know if we're going for him as well as or instead of, but I'd absolutely love Rodrigo as the last signing. That would be the marquee one. That would be the Alexis Sanchez or Mesut Ozil type signing that Arsenal have needed for a long time. So hopefully we get it done if it's available, man. But at the moment, I'm happy with Eze, man.
Yeah. Happy days. Happy days. Right, that's the super chats done. Thanks everyone for watching. Like and subscribe, as Sophie has said in the chat. Big up, Sean. Hope you're all right, bro. And we will see you in a bit. Peace out, folks.